Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Kabhi. With me, Rishi and Adi. I'm Rahul, and we just thought we'll discuss the IPL because it's been a while, and yeah, there's some interesting things that have happened this season. There are some interesting observations that we can potentially discuss, and yeah, I mean, we just had a game played out between KKR and the Mumbai Indians, and Mumbai. Uh, I mean, like RCB, have not had a great season, and yeah. I for one would bring up one interesting decision that the Indian team has taken as far as their selection for the T20 World Cup is concerned with Hardik Pandya, but we'll leave that for another day. Just discuss the IPL itself. Rishi, what have you made of the tournament so far, dude? And yeah, I mean, we've got RR and KKR at the top. RR, I think quite handsomely, but I think they should have got the job done yesterday, but they didn't. KKR again up there with 14 points, RR 16. I think they're set to be the top two this season. Do you think anybody else will contend for those top two places?
Top two, no. At this point, I think pretty much the top two looks solid, unless and like at least for RR, they look very strong. They look very consistent. So like, if anyone has to go down, I think it has to be KKR. And even then, I like you see the kind of balance they have. Like they have all rounders left, right, center. So I think they'll KKR even if they fall off the second place, they're going to comfortably make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, dude. Adi, so far, what have you made of the IPL season? And again, same question. Do you think the top two are done and there's nobody else who can really fight for it?
I mean, maybe SRH because they're also in the fight for it. I think they're only 2 points behind KKR, if I'm not wrong. Plus, looking at the fixtures, SRH have it easier compared to KKR because KKR have to play LSG and RR still. So they might slip up points there. So maybe only SRH, looking like the force they are. And, I still think KKR can slip because I think they bottled a lot of games this season if you look at it. Against Rajasthan, they lost it. So yeah,
Yep.
I still think SRH, if they get their bowling lineup a bit more sorted, can give a good challenge with that because you look at the batting, it's just too strong for them to not score runs, right? I
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
feel like that's going to help them a lot.
Now let us talk about SRH because they've been one of those batting heavy sides. They've done so well at the top. You've got Abhishek Sharma who's done very well. Travis Head has done well. You've had players chipping in. Handed Klassen again scores runs for you. Nitish Reddy has done well. So quite a few players have done well for SRH. But they tried something different in the last game, which was to go with that extra foreign bowler. Rishi, you think it was the right choice? They went with Marco Janssen as that additional quick, dropped Aiden Markram to the bench, and you obviously have Pat Cummins as well. You think that's the formula they should have, or just outscore teams?
I mean, to even if you're trying to score runs, like you're able to see that okay, they're still not winning by a lot of runs. They're still winning by maybe 10 runs, 20 runs. So for me, I really think, and ever since there came a run fest, like there were a series of games where it kept going to 240 to 270 range, and then everyone started criticizing IPL and the pitches, and suddenly you see the next few games started dipping to 160, 170. So if SRH are to go through, I really think they need to some like because the batting is there. It's not just the top two. Like they're the batsmen who follow through are able to chip in. Nitish Reddy is able to chip in. Henry Klassen is able to contribute. And even Abdul Samad, like he can come off and play a needy, handy innings. So I'm really
Mm.
not as I would as if I were an SRH fan, I really wouldn't be as bothered about their batting as much as they need to stop the hemorrhage of runs because the other teams are bound to go after them. So it's all
Yeah.
about how they can, somewhat try and do a damage limitation. And for that reason alone, I think it's worth the trade off.
Okay. Okay. Hey, let's discuss that battle for 3 and 4 because it's quite interesting. You've got LSG, SR, CSK, and Delhi. Delhi weirdly I thought would have had a terrible season, but the emergence of Jake Fraser McGurk, he's gone absolutely berserk. Tristan Stubbs has sort of grown into his role in that lower middle order. Adi, you think these four teams will fight it out for 3 and 4? And what's your take on CSK? Because it's such a popular franchise, everybody keeps talking about CSK. Always process is great. All this. Do you think they have enough firepower to make it to the playoffs?
Bro, it's actually tough because I look at all teams are very like they've all been good, but they've all been bad at the same time, right? It's all the consistency with each team. You look at the EC, they've also been decent. And some games are really good, some games are really bad. CSK also they've been mediocre some games they've been top, right? And then you have other teams like SRH and who else are there? LSG. LSG has also been weirdly consistent. But that's the thing with LSG, they just don't feel like they're a T20 team, but they just churn out results weirdly.
I
You know?
think I think a lot of it has to do with where they play. I think it
Hmm.
sort of suits
That's
them.
true.
Krunal Pandya does very well in
Yeah,
Lucknow.
but they do well
So
even away from home. Like
yeah,
they
yeah, fair enough.
But
come and
even
one.
but even when they play away from home, I think the
Bro, they
only
literally beat
total
Chennai,
they
bro.
faced is against Bangalore. I think others they really pretty much restricted teams. They've kept a tidy either a tidy total and they've defended it or they've gotten.
But you know,
Bro, but
but
you
you know,
see the
I
CSK
love
game,
their
right?
approach. They back their approach, which is to make the pitch difficult at their home venue. You back your spinners, which they've done well, and then you back the likes of KL Rahul, who are probably like somebody's not very explosive, but you back him to score a reasonable amount of runs. The runs matter more than the strike rate, I think, on a ground like that. So I think he's the way they've approached it. It sort of suits them. Um, that's what I think has impressed me about Lucknow. It's not just this season. If you go back to the season before as well, it was pretty much the same thing at the Akana, and they're stuck to it. So I think that way, kudos to them for that
Yeah.
approach.
Hmm.
But dude, you see them, they've also won away from home. I think they're unbeaten away from home. They've played what 3 games away from home and they won all three. They beat Mumbai, they beat CSK, which was like, some mad innings by Stoinis.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, I didn't see that coming. But
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Absolute
Like,
honest.
bashing.
dude, they're a weird team. I feel like they're always like a consistent playoff team, but they're never going to do anything else from that. Maybe it's like that kind of team because they've been in there for 3 years. They've been in the playoffs for all 3 years, right? So like
Yeah,
you look at them like 2 years, sorry. Like you look at them, I don't know. It's just a weird team. I feel like
yeah.
they can go through again because
Dude, I would 100% back them to go into the
yeah,
playoff.
they have a bit
Like,
more consistency in terms of settle squad. They know, as you said, they back the process. They're not gonna chop and change every game just
yeah,
because they lose a game, etc. You see with DC they do that a bit. You see even CSK not much, but they've done that with their top order. That's the thing with CSK, bro. Their top order isn't they've not fired. Like they started with Rachin and Gaikwad. That didn't work out. Then they took Rahane and Gaikwad. I mean Rahane and Rachin. That didn't work out well. Now they're playing Rahane and who Gaikwad.
yeah,
Rahane has been in bad form this entire IPL, but they're still sticking to him and
yeah.
it's just not worked out. I'd rather give it to Rachin where you can at least build for the future if Rane is not working out, right? And
True,
the
dude.
thing
I think
the thing with Rane
CSK
is
don't have
actually
the firepower, dude. Like they just don't have enough to get through to the playoffs. I think this time.
Thala.
Rishi, you think Dhoni? Promote yourself, dude. Like I mean, honestly, let's have this conversation. Why doesn't Dhoni promote himself if the likes
He,
of
he promotes himself to the last over whenever a wicket falls.
yeah,
I
no,
That's
that's
mean,
what I'm
literally
saying.
dude,
fun.
he's
Why?
the dude's 40 plus. I don't think he has it in him to
No,
play
one
30,
second. Why?
40
Why are you?
balls.
Why are you playing? Why are you playing if you cannot play more than an over? Why are you playing in the team?
He for again he this is probably going to be his last season, and
So,
I really. What do you mean? So
so
he
one
can
second,
probably.
Rishi. If he
Hmm,
can give you just one over in an entire game, you're okay
hmm.
with it.
No, he's come. I think the Delhi game he came and of course he was off by at I think 10, 15 runs, but he again scored like 30, 40 runs in like 15, 16 balls. That's I don't know what more you want from a finisher.
'Cause there was no pressure that game.
Like
No, no, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying if this is a situation at CSK where the guys are not able to score enough runs, apart from Ruturaj Gaikwad, who has done pretty well,
Hmm?
why don't you, being such an experienced player, promote yourself? You got the guys to finish off the innings. You don't need Dhoni
See,
itself to be there and do it.
him
You got
like
Shivam Dubey
him
doing
being
well.
in at like you define certain roles for your players. Like Fraser McGurk has a particular role in the team. Same way Tristan Stubbs has a particular role. You see, Sky for Mumbai has that particular role. He just comes and tries to give you that acceleration. It doesn't matter if he gets out on the second or third ball, but the
Correct,
specific
correct.
exact same way Dhoni, his his role is to come, score those quick fire runs, give that 300 strike rate, maybe in like say 10 balls, try and give like 20-25 runs. That is his role. Fine. If he's asked to come earlier and put in a shift, fine, but you can't hold him accountable as much for that, because that is not his role in the team.
No, I'm not holding him accountable. I'm just asking the question that
Hmm.
Dhoni being the player that he is, and it's not the first time I've seen him do it. We've seen him do it in the past, that when things are not going that well or they are crunch situations, that he has promoted himself to bat up higher up the order and sort of help out in the best possible way he can. Now the team is clearly not doing very well, especially at the top. You can probably promote yourself, help out, build an innings. I'm just asking
I
why is that
at
not
least
happening?
I don't think he has that, at least that much of gas in his tank to play out the to see out that innings. Like
Mm,
at least you like if the scenario were like 3 years or like 3 years back, like you could maybe give him the criticism for why don't you promote yourself, like maybe 2021 or 2020 even. You could probably see him do that, but I think age is really catching up to him, dude.
yeah, then the question has to be asked again: why are you playing in the IPL this year? So I mean, I know he's a fan favorite and everybody loves him, and he's done so much for Indian cricket. Absolutely not taking away any of that, but yeah, I'm just asking the question.
But even
Yeah,
in the
No, but
scenarios
like,
like he has come on, like at least towards the death, he's given them this 200, 300 strike rate. He
no,
has
I'm not
given them.
doubting that. I'm not doubting
no,
Mhm.
but
that.
the point is, what he's trying to say is, bro, instead of getting 300 strike rate in the six balls which he faces, you
Mhm.
see, like, till that they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle to score runs. Like Jadeja has struggled. Mitchell has actually struggled also a lot. So what he's trying to say is, why not just promote yourself? Come ahead, try to play out 30, 40 balls and get more runs than what these guys are
Yeah,
scoring.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
Shivam,
No,
you got
that's
Shivam Dubey at the back end, who's anyways doing a good job. He's there for you.
bro, but the thing is, like with Dhoni, I don't think they want to play him. Is this more of timing, maybe? Because again, as Rishi said, maybe age, but I don't think age is such a factor because he barely plays, right? Like he's only going to keep the entire game. He doesn't run much, so he conserves energy there. So, for example, you're batting first, you can still face like 30, 40 balls and at least come ahead. Like, you can still come and smash your same 300 strike rate from the first ball, but just come down lower the order.
Yeah, if that's exactly what I'm
Like,
saying. If he is having such a good season and if he
yeah,
is striking it
just,
so well, come play some more balls. It's only going to help the team, right? You want your
but
best batsman to be facing the most number of balls. We know it. Everybody says the same thing. But
exactly.
yeah, let's talk about the two bottom sides as well. I mean, before that, Delhi. Just want to talk about Delhi and Jake Fraser McGurk. Is he the best opening batsman right now in the IPL?
mm,
After Kohli, yes.
He's not in the Australian squad for the T20 World Cup.
yeah. I was just gonna say
Yeah,
he.
it's
A
not
certain
surprising. I told you he wouldn't be. See,
Yeah, I mean, I know I
because
completely
bro,
get that.
Australia don't back their youngsters like that. Like they just ensure they take experienced people.
Yeah,
See every.
Not really. Australia tried backing. What is that guy's name? Bukovski. He just kept getting slapped in the head. What
Yeah,
can
they
they do?
no,
realize.
but Fraser McGurk, I think, also has the fastest 100 or something like that.
But that's the thing
In
with Australia, right? They
and
won't just
so,
take you because you have had a good IPL. Like they would
Yeah,
expect you to
exactly.
perform for some time, and then that's where they take you.
yeah, fair enough. But
It's, but
yeah, man,
again,
I
dude,
mean,
like you
he's
don't
Even
playing
know.
so
they
well.
even dropped Smith for the this one.
That was expected, dude. Like, I mean, he's the guy is doing commentary. He's not even playing the IPL.
Even
Yeah.
Dinesh Karthik was doing commentary. Someone wanted
So
him
I'm
to learn.
talking about T20 cricket, dude. Like Smith is not even playing T20 cricket. So
He played last time though, like against West Indies and all.
yeah.
He's just not a T20 cricketer, man. Come on.
But anyways,
Yeah,
fair
but
enough. Like let's get back to Fraser McGurk because he's the the man who was sort of stealing the limelight, and he's also got the best strike rate in the IPL right now for an opening bat. Insane, dude. Like where is this? Where is this come from? These couple of players. Will Jacks has done so well for RCB as well. So,
see, the thing is, Will
but
Jacks
yes,
was always a known talent. I think we all expected him to come and do like it was more of an expectation. But dude, with Fraser McGurk, he just came out from the first game. You know, he's been belting like each game, and it's the same style every game. It's not that he's changed anything. Against SRH also he went, from the get go in the power play. Against Mumbai did the same thing. That's his style. I feel like that's his style. It's good and bad, right? Because on days when it works out, you look good. But then again, the last game I forgot who they played. DC. He lost a silly wicket that game.
Against KKR, if I'm
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember it. Yeah, against KKR, I think Stark got him out if I'm not wrong. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
correct, correct.
again, it's that's the thing, right? You
the
go,
last
you
game they played was SRH.
KKR da.
No, when?
Yeah, da, KKR.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad, my bad.
yeah. So that's the thing, like, dude, even the games he got out, right, against MI, like, you could see he could have easily gotten a century if he just thought a bit more. Even with SRH, it was the same thing. He just swings every ball. That's one thing I really
Yeah.
want him to learn is, like, think, right? Like, it's just about
Mm.
toning your game. Like, it's just fine tuning, bro. Because those two games, I'm sure he could have gotten a century the way he was belting, like, the way he was batting, the way he
Yeah.
was tapping the ball. He just kept swinging and swinging and swinging. And I feel like if you keep doing that every ball, it's going to catch up to you and you just might lose a wicket. I feel like that's the
But that,
only
but what
drawback.
if that's the role that's defined for them? Like
Dude,
if
the
Yeah.
you
thing,
See,
dude,
stop,
the coach is if the coach is telling you that, then you don't have an
yeah,
option.
exactly. Like
yeah, but my point is, dude, that's the thing. Like, for example, that over here, it's like 20-25 runs against Markande. He didn't have to swing that ball, but it was the last ball of the over and he still swung. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. You defending one ball, it's not going to change the entire game, right? It's just about toning your game. Like, I feel like every time you swing, the higher, like the more you go into the innings, the more higher the probability where you can get out. And it happened. It literally happened in the Markande over because he smacked him that entire over until the last ball, and that was again a top edge which got him out. And same with Mumbai, it was a top edge that just went up and then he got out. It was both was the same way he got out, and both innings it was where like he was going on the same strike rate. He scored, the fastest half century for him, like 13 balls, 15 balls, sorry, in both the games. And the way he got out was the same way. Like, and you,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see,
fair
even though
enough.
DC went on to score, 260 that game. I feel like if he stayed, he could have gotten an extra 10, 15, 20 runs in that game. Like, I'm sure if he thought a bit more, they could have pushed for at least 290, 300. I'm not even kidding.
No, I agree. I think, like, of course, that I think will come with time. Where he'll understand
Yeah.
as well. He's 22, I think. He's quite young.
Yeah, it's a
So,
young lad, though. Yeah.
and but yeah, he's doing some insane stuff, dude. Like, I mean, I absolutely love watching him bat. It's a lot of
Bro,
fun.
and the thing is, he's not just like a power hitter. He actually has good
Yeah,
technique.
yeah,
Though,
he
the
got
way
and he times the ball very well.
yeah,
He's not just
exactly.
he's
I'm
very
seeing some of
different.
his dude is having so good like some against Mumbai again like the bottom of his bat was hitting bottom of the bat and it's still going like almost for a six and you could see like it's he doesn't look like a pure power player like Chris Gale, Russell. He actually has very good technique. That's something impressed me like the intent of going aggressive each ball and also having that good technique. Like I remember against Hardik Pandya like one which came towards him, he moved away from the wicket and he played it over covers. And I was like, that was such a fabulous shot because he was playing in the back foot and he's moving away and then still hitting it over covers. I'm like, this guy has actual good technique. So he's been very impressive.
See, your team, dude. I mean, they just lost again. Dude, you know what? I think Mumbai is going to finish last. I can safely say Mumbai is
yeah,
going
yeah.
to finish last. RCB will finish above them, 100%. What's been up, dude? Like, what's going on with Captain Pandya?
Comfortably. Like for one, I don't like you. If you ask me what the best lineup is, or if you ask the coaches what the best lineup is, or like the what like at what lineup should you consistently be going. I'm pretty sure they also are clueless. Like one team, like one game you see Romario Shepherd playing well, and the next game he's not even in the squad. Mohammad Nabi
Mhm.
played for 2 games and then he's dropped. He's entirely dropped. Today you see Rohit Sharma coming as impact player. Like what? Like you played Namandhir in at the start when Surya Kumar Yadav was out. Now he's coming in. Nehal Vadera played a couple of innings and then he's dropped. Like I can name, excluding the captain, I can name 3, 4 players who have been consistently playing in the team, and that's of course going to catch up to you eventually. Like, and I think
Yeah.
more than that, there is no, like you can see at least the successful teams this season. You can see what clear cut strategies what they are going after, and okay, if it's not working, you have your plan Bs, you have your plan Cs. I don't see any of that with Mumbai. At one game I see Jasprit Bumrah opening, then the next game I see Gerald Kuzia opening, and then like just when the opening overs are kept tidy, you see Hardik Pandya coming and giving in 20 runs. Like what is going on? Like I have absolutely no idea what the direction is. So like let alone win games, I'm more concerned about what is the long term plan. Okay, the next year you have luckily you have like the mega auction coming in, but if that was not there, where was this team heading? That's what I'm more concerned about.
Mm. It's something that's concerned me as well is Rohit Sharma's performance going into the World Cup. Happy with his performance so far?
I mean, to be honest, this this season his batting has been a lot more proactive, aggressive, and with intent than it has been for a long time, at least for Mumbai Indians. So with
Mm.
that, I'm more than happy. Like, dude, he's coming out like you can see that he doesn't he's not affected as much by the pressure. He doesn't have that much on his shoulders anymore, and he is willing to go straight into third gear, fourth gear at once. Like of course you do tend to get out sooner, but then again he is showing that intent. He is going a lot more aggressive. So that if from an Indian team perspective, especially if you're going with Kohli and Rohit Sharma as the opening pair, I feel
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma is really willing to take that aggression, the aggressor role really well. So in that perspective, I'm more than happy.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think that's fair, but I think you really have to talk about Hardik Pandya. I think this is where it gets really interesting. I'm not talking about Hardik Pandya, the captain. I'm just looking at it from an India perspective. Of course, he's captaining Mumbai Indians. He's had his struggles this year. Rishi Hardik Pandya, who has come in situations where he has had time. He's had like his moments to bat, just hasn't turned up. He's averaged less than 20. He's striking at less than 150, which is quite odd for such a high scoring season. And you got guys who are striking at 200, 300. Is it the right choice to go with Hardik Pandya as that sort of seam bowling all rounder?
Uh,
When his bowling hasn't been great either. I mean, I'm just going to give you his
yes.
stats from this year.
And
Um,
captaincy.
yeah, Hardik Pandya has gone for an economy of 11 this year. He's picked up 8 wickets in 11 games. That's less than a wicket per game in a T20 in the T20 format, which is very, very, very ordinary.
Um, if you are asking in the long term, is he a good
No, I'm
choice
talking
for the
about the
team?
World Cup, T20 World Cup.
Oh, you're asking the T20 World Cup? But I mean, see, Rahul, the minute they announced him, and even before the IPL started, I was telling you that he's set like being set up to be the white ball, at least the next T20 captain. And as much as you were hesitant about it, you too knew it that that was going to be
Yeah,
the case. So,
I knew
so
it, but
you
is it
really
okay?
can't be surprised that that call had been taken. But he is not the only surprising in a negative way, like surprising call that has been made by the team.
I
Like
agree. I agree. But I think
and
this one makes the most difference. That's why
yeah,
I'm
that's true because
I'm thinking
I'm pretty sure unless any injury concerns, he's going to play every single game.
No, he's the
exactly.
vice captain of the team, by the way.
Yeah, he's vice captain of
Yeah,
the squad.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And that the fact that he is like at least it would have made some sort of respite if the players who are above him, below him are playing well, like with the bat, with the ball. But off the top of my head, I can probably say Virat is playing well and Jasprit Bumrah is bowling well. If Kuldeep Yadav and Chahal bowl, okay, they are going to do. But in general, the whole squad has not been like that
Surya Kumar has
good.
been fine.
No, dude, no. So
Bro,
like
does
at
it
least
think
his
for
standards,
me?
his like sky has not been that great. So with considering the big picture, I'm really concerned about Hardik Pandya and his contribution to the team.
No, I'm actually quite intrigued right now. I want to check Surya's numbers because he hasn't disappointed. I don't think he has disappointed,
The
but
only game where he is I can remember of this season is when he came and belted RCB. Like I can't think of any other game where he's given
so
uh
yeah, Surya scored 250 runs, nearly 250 runs, 8 games. He's averaged 30.
okay.
Strikes at 170 almost. It hasn't been too bad.
He
It
comes
hasn't
in as
been, of
one.
course, yeah, one or two down. I mean, whatever it is. But yeah, I think it hasn't been the best season. You're right, but I don't think it has been the worst. I think it's someone who will come good anyways. But let's see. I mean, let's leave Surya aside. Adi Hardik Pandya again. From a Mumbai Indians perspective, let me ask you, bro. Like, is this their long term? Do you think is their long term
I
solution
mean, they
to
have to
the
go, right?
captaincy?
Because they have no other choice now. They took a huge decision before the season, kicking out Rohit Sharma. They took in so much backlash with the fans, etc. Right? So,
Hmm.
and again, now even if they want to take Hardik Pandya out, who can they get in? Like they won't have anyone to get in. Look at every team; they're almost set to their captains for the next 2 3 years. From KKR, DC, Rajasthan, you know, Chennai again also, SRH now with Cummins,
LSG.
LSG too
Yeah,
with Rahul. Like apart from RCB, maybe that's a bit of doubt, but apart
RCB is
from that,
probably the only other team.
RCB
yeah,
Punjab because even Dhawan's
Dude, I mean, to be honest, RCB also, if you want, you can always go back to Kohli for another 3 years. So it's not like
maybe,
not.
yeah, but
Yeah,
it's more of Kohli, right? Does he want to be the captain? Because
yeah,
he's the
yeah.
one who stepped down from it, right?
Mm.
So even if he's not willing to be, like, who do you go? But that's a different situation because it's based on succession, gradual succession, based on
Yeah, it was more organic.
yeah, exactly. It's basically natural. There is no, you know, behind the scene moves, politics, etc. And that's the thing. Now they can't even take a U-turn from it. Now they have to build a team around Hardik. Maybe you can say this is not Hardik's team, but again, you look at the players they have. He has good players, right, from the top order. Kishan, Rohit Sharma, Surya, Kumar Yadav. Only thing is, I feel like they have a bit. I always thought that their bowling is weak. Apart from Bumrah, they don't have any other, supporter. Before, like you see, Mumbai Indians previously they used to have, another proper bowler with experience, in terms of who was it, Bolt at that time. And since Bolt
Bold,
has
yeah.
left, they haven't had that second man, to Bumrah. Because one thing with
Fish-
Bumrah is he's gonna
I thought
be.
Behrendorff did a decent job last season.
Burnoff is really had really gone under the radar if you'd ask me. And I
Yeah,
fully expected like okay,
exactly.
like the Mumbai went into the season with Gerald Kudzia as the primary foreign bowler, but I thought if he didn't live up to the expectation, they were always going to give it to Burnoff. And the fact that he hasn't even featured once this
He
season has
hasn't
been
played a
really
single game now.
no. Is like
Yeah,
Tushara has played the remaining game, so like as their premier foreign fast bowler, so that's come as quite a shock. Like
Yeah,
well,
considering how much, like how many good performances Burnoff has actually given for us for Mumbai in the past.
yeah, yeah.
dude, that's the thing with Hardik. I feel like he's just overdoing everything because, I think he wants to come there, make his own mark, show him that I'm the captain
Mm.
here. Let's change things with the same team. That's what you can't do, right? See, the thing is, this is not any other sport where you can just suddenly buy a new player in the middle of the season, right? You have to work with whoever you can because that's all you have. Like, you have only the certain 23-man squad.
Oh, is
He has to.
Behrendorff ruled out?
Ruled out due to injury. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But again, like you see with Hardik, he's just trying to change everything every game. Like as Rishi said, sometimes you have Bumrah bowling. Dude, first 3 4 games he never took Bumrah in the first spell of the game. It used to either be him bowling or someone else bowling the first 3 to 4 overs. And that's how it's been. Then he suddenly got on Bumrah. Then he took out Bumrah. Then he's just chopped and changed every time. He's just trying to overdo a lot. I think the pressure's getting to him. Maybe in
Mm.
an environment where he had his fans backing, it would have been a different thing. That's the thing. I
Yeah,
feel like he wants to prove that, see, I'm the right man, I'm the right captain. Whole story. Maybe that's where he's gotten into, like, another,
yeah, pretty much.
just overdoing it,
Yeah,
putting
true.
extra energy. You can see the way he acts on the field also. Because like sometimes you can see he's not in the moment of the game. His mind is somewhere else. Like you can see
Yeah,
he's overdoing everything. Like it's just over. He needs to take a step back, calm down, try to understand the game. Like you could see when he was in, GT as a captain, he didn't have the pressure where he would go like berserk every ball, right? He I don't know why. Like he just controls every player, and I don't like that kind of captaincy. He needs to let the players be themselves also on the pitch, right?
mm,
That's one thing. And again, one more thing with Mumbai is like the batting has been bad this season in terms of. I also believe like all the senior players have let him down. Like in terms of, apart from Surya has been actually decent as you said. Kishan's been, you know,
okay. They've all
very,
been quite average. Let's just
yeah.
put it like
It's
I
just
don't think
average.
anyone's too bad. Yeah, they've just been
Yeah,
average.
yeah. Especially the amount of money they get paid, right? Like
Yeah,
Kishan's another premium player, Indian player, the so-called, if Punt was not there, you never know. He might have been in the conversation for the keeper for World Cup, etc.
mm,
He's been there before also. And then you have Rohit Sharma, who's, even though Rishi said, like he has an intent to play, but he's not been consistent over the season, right? That's one more thing. Surya Kumar has been okay. Some against the RCB he showed, that class. But apart from that, he's been very slow in his strike rate.
mm,
Play the innings slow. But again, if you lose your first, lose the batsman around you, you can't do anything.
yeah.
And Hardik Pandya as a batsman this season, it's
Oh,
just,
he's
I
disappointing
don't
as a
think
bat.
he's just forgotten how to bat. I feel like
Yeah,
because it's again like it's very inconsistent. I don't understand his batting style. Like before, you could see he had an, like in Mumbai he was very aggressive. He just comes to finish the game, go on. In GT he was more calm. He used to come one down, two down.
two down.
He used to take more time, play an innings and go. This season it's again very mismatched. Sometimes he just comes to swing from the first ball, he misfires. He takes too much time. He misfires again. So it's everywhere. It just looks all over the place. And that's the thing
True,
with
true.
Mumbai. That's where like I feel like it's funny
Yeah,
to
dude. I
watch,
think
but like it's actually hilarious. Like even though they've gotten 2-3 results, right? And in the beginning of the season, RCB looked very funny as a team. But in depth when I look at Mumbai, it's just unfortunately for Mumbai fans, it's just very funny to look at them because dude, I don't know why it's very like they don't look like a team, Like I'll tell you how I can say they're like Chelsea in football. Like they just don't look like a team together. They
yeah,
just
they
look
don't.
like 11 players who come, under one man to play. That's all. Like that's how it is. Like literally that. So yeah.
Quickly before we wrap up, RCB, GT, Rishi, RCB back at the Chinnaswamy, and Will Jacks is fired and he's done very well. Glenn Maxwell's back, so that batting looks stacked at the moment. And finally, they've got some form going. 2 wins in two. You think RCB can make it 3 out of 3 tomorrow?
Don't talk to me that Maxwell is back, so batting looks solid and all. Please stop it. Let's get
No, I didn't
serious.
say.
Like
I said
Will
it. I
Jacks,
said it looks stacked. I didn't say it looks solid.
Will Jacks, of course, has been a game changer in itself for RCB. Like him,
Rajat Patidar has played well since we spoke
yeah,
last.
that's true. That's true. The last time we
He's
spoke of him, we were very critical of him, and since then
yeah,
he's come in and not just scores, he's
scored
accelerated quite
quickly.
exactly. He's done that really well as well. And at the like, of course, like it's a bit too late, but again, it's not that down and it's not that doom and gloom for RCB. Like there have been signs that the performances are there, the intent is there. So maybe the last 3 or 4 games you can see a more positive side from an RCB, like a team that okay, like that their fans can look at them and not be ashamed of. Like they can look at them and be like, okay, the lads gave an honest effort and be appreciative of that. And I think that in itself is like the way RCB had started the season. I think that in itself they've come a long way. So kudos to them for
Fair.
that.
Adi, where do RCB finish this season?
Dude, I feel like they can finish seventh, sixth.
Hmm.
If they win the next 4 games, that is obviously. But yeah, I mean, look at the games. They have pretty easy games. They're playing
Yeah,
DC,
they don't have very
Punjab,
tough teams. They've got GT,
GT.
Punjab.
and
Um,
DC and
Delhi,
CSK.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you
So,
win those 4 games, you can get your the same mid table down, and you can also go up, kind of thing.
mm,
But tomorrow it's in Chinnaswamy Stadium. Let's see how the pitch will be. It's been raining here, so I don't know if that's going to affect or not. But like, it'll be fun to watch for sure. But one thing is, again, their bowling still looks a bit sus. Like, that's a problem for me. Last 2 games they were decent. They were not bad in terms of the bowling for sure. Last game they were a bit inconsistent with the bowling. I think they gave a lot of silly runs.
mm.
Uh, but to be fair, that pitch also looked pretty good to bat on, so you can't really say that. So we're what now? We're literally an all Indian bowling lineup in terms of
Which is
we
what
don't
I
have
said at
any.
the start of the season. See, we just can't bowl. Just go all Indian and stack your batting.
That's true, bro. But bro, I still think we need. Bro, the
How
problem is we don't have
simple
the
is that,
quality.
Rahul? Like, if you really want, okay, like one or two odd games, you can get results through that. But how reliable? Like you see, SRH even this season, SRH they are as stacked as an IPL team can be. But even then, occasionally they do come short. Even with
I don't know,
really good
no,
bowlers like
but more
Cummins and
often, yeah, but more often not they'll do well. Like I don't know why SRH tried Marco Janssen, whatever. They should have lost that game. Let's be honest about it. They should have lost to RR. They didn't. Okay, but that's the way that they had to approach the game because they don't have the bowling. But if you actually look at it, SRH have a better bowling unit than RCB. Natarajan will do better than most RCB bowlers, most Indian RCB bowlers, right? Like in every other game, Pat Cummins will do a better job than most RCB foreign bowlers. If we're already that bad, there is no point in looking
Dude,
for
but you
answers
realize
there.
like Rahul, one thing is like you see, I feel like for me the green is the issue because you look at batting,
Mm.
it's already stacked in terms of with Maxwell coming back, you have top five stacked, and you don't need. And if the next two batsmen are going to come in, there'll be Lomror and Karthik. So top seven is actually stacked when you look at it, right?
Mm.
And you look Green as a bowling perspective, I think he just doesn't have the maturity to ball in T20 in terms of
I,
the line and
yeah,
length.
fair
He's a
enough.
good bowler, actually. I actually truly believe he has good bowling capacity. But again, it's the line and length. Like you watch the last game against GT also. I don't remember who was batting. I think it was Sai Sudarshan itself. Like the line and length he bowled the first three balls. It was the same line and length all three balls. It
Mm.
was short, and he got picked on the cover area 3 times. And the next three balls he bowled full, where he conceded like 2 runs out of it. So you can see that he's there, but again, bro, like Green as a bowler, I don't think he gets enough wickets. He doesn't, and his other part of bowling is he doesn't get his economy very low. So if you're talking about Green as a batsman, when we have seven, so-called batsmen who's already stacked there, in the batting lineup, Green is lost because where would you actually play him, right?
Mm.
And you look at
Mm.
the bowling lineup, he's again lost because he's not a full-time bowler. He doesn't bowl all the 4 overs.
I
He
wonder
balls
who
two, three
called him
overs.
a bits and pieces cricketer at the start of the
Who
season.
Exactly.
who called him a bits and pieces?
Me.
Unfortunately, it is like
Acha.
that for him. It is like that
Yeah,
for
yeah,
him in this RCB side. I think the only one good innings he's come this season, right? From his
yeah, yeah,
perspective.
yeah, yeah. He scored about 35.
Apart from that, again, like it's very bits and pieces for him, unfortunately. Like
I think
apart from,
I still think the management have not done a good job with him, as in to define his role.
but
It's been
but the
all over
problem
the
is the
place.
balance of
Yeah,
the team.
to a
It's
large
not.
extent, even Mumbai last year did not. Okay, he came two, he came three, he had 100 against SRH,
So
but
that's my thing. It's not
even
the
then,
unfortunately even he's young. He's not the guy to blame, right? Like let's not
yeah,
blame Cameron Green because he's batting one day at number six, one day he's batting at number three, one day he's batting at number four, one day again he's then you push him back to number six, number seven.
Dude, that's the
It's
see, I'm
problem,
telling
right? Like that's what I'm saying. So what are you getting out of Green? My point is,
exactly.
instead of getting Green there where you're shuffling him every game, which is not fair for him. Now look at the batting lineup. Now you can't. There is no reason for him to come in the top four at least, top five in my opinion. Even with Patrider coming in form, right? Now the top
yeah,
five
yeah.
is gone.
Fair enough. Fair
Then you
enough.
get six and seven with Lomro or Dinesh to come and finish the game. Like where do you really put him in the
No,
team?
I
Like
agree. I agree with you. I don't think Green, unfortunately, right now has a spot. But I'm talking about in the long run. If the RCB management take a good look at it, you've paid 17 crores for him. If you are going to retain him, define his role.
But where do you
Define his
place
role.
him? You've seen his enough
I
batting. He's
think
not.
he's
He's
a
not an aggressor. He's
dude.
not.
I think he's an opening bat. I genuinely think he's an opening bat. Number three at best. He does not bat lower than that for me.
Do
If
you?
I'm in RCB management, otherwise
Mhm.
don't take him.
Okay,
Like he's
so
not a
even
finisher.
as an opening
He's
batter,
not a
what
finisher.
role what role do you define him? Is he the one who keeps his wicket and one end and he rotates strike, or is he the one who goes
I
for it?
think he
Who
goes for it. He can go for it. Like because he's someone again who's a very timing oriented batter. He's not a big ball striker or anything. He can time the ball well. Let him
he's a
open the
big
batting.
lanky dude. It's not like he's short and explosive. Someone
I'm
like
not saying yeah, yeah.
Fraser McGurk or someone even
Correct.
Travis
Christian,
Head.
Christian.
Like like you
Yeah, I'm
can't
just saying
you can't
I'm just thinking
squeeze
I'm just saying
that much of aggression out of him. Like
I don't think exactly, which is why I don't think he can be batting lower down the order. Put him up the order. He's going to time the ball well. He's going to get you a few boundaries. Play the power play well enough, and that's his. That should I think that should be his
Bro,
role.
for me,
But
it's
yeah,
more like what's the effecties on the team. It's not about his talent.
exactly.
I feel like he still has a talent. I know he can play well. But at this side, right, like you see, he's actually been a net negative player over the past 1 or 2 games.
no,
Maybe
no, I
against
agree. I'm
SRH,
not saying again. I'm not saying that this season
still,
he's
that's
got
why I'd
everything.
rather have a bowler, that's what I'm saying. And I
Fair
really
enough. Fair
think
enough.
Tom Curran should be getting a chance because he's an actual underrated bowler. He can actually
Hmm.
control the death overs. He can actually
I
has
mean,
good variation.
at this point, like what do you like? There's nothing that RCB they've tried and tested everyone else of the
Yeah,
foreign
Exactly.
there's
bowling
nothing
unit.
to
You might
lose,
as well
but
give him his chance.
yeah, you can give Tom Curran a shot. I don't mind the Tom Curran for Green. That's not a bad choice. But I'm saying in the long run, if you're keeping Green, you've paid 17 crores from him. If you're planning to retain him, just define his role in going future. Go in the future, actually, please. If
Hmm.
you're buying players for that much amount of money, define the role. Have some clarity in your thought. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. It's been a nice chat. We've I think rattled through most of the teams. So yeah, that's been our IPL review. Yep, hopefully we'll see you soon again for some cricket stuff. Please do like and share the videos. Subscribe to Sports Coverage as well. Thanks, Adi Rishi, for joining. And yeah, good night.